Hey there, guys. Sherman here with Barrington Real Estate. Today I'm here at Barrel Heart Brewing, and they make delicious saison beers. I'm going to learn a little bit about Mark, about the brewing process, and about the business as well. So away we go. First off, Mark, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
We want to learn a little bit about the business.
Yeah.
But let's kind of start with, where were you when you first came up with the idea to open up a brewery here in Hamilton?
Yeah, so I've been in Hamilton for about 12 years now as a brewer. And I've always loved this kind of style of beer, this farmhouse beer. I went to Belgium, and as I do when I travel, I just asked them, what do you drink here? And they started pushing across these farmhouse beers to them, and I said, I need more of that in my life.
Yeah.
They're bone dry, they're kind of funky, they're earthy and rustic. They smell like a coming storm and an old barn. And they're fruity and bright and really expressive, and they vary. It's not just the same cookie cutter beer again and again. It's always different. Also, depending on how old the beer is in bottle, it changes in bottle too. So when you open that bottle too. So yeah, just such a huge amount to explore. And it wasn't the beer that I was having here. It wasn't lager and IPA. It was something different and unique. And I went down that rabbit hole and just it took me.
All right, Mike. I like that you are a small business owner here in Hamilton. I got a lot of entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, and small businesses on my page here. We really want to get an idea of, tell me about some of the growing pains, some of the challenges you've experienced as a small business, and how you've overcome them.
Yeah, I mean, certainly craft beer has been on the rise with double digits inflation or growth to the industry for the last 10 years. But now we're starting to see that flatten off a bit. Craft beer is here, it's got its segment. So one of the things I did was be as small as I can.
Okay.
So we're out here in an industrial lot down the back warrens of an industrial park. And it's only my wife and I do everything here. So I make all the beer, I sell the beer, blend all the beer. My wife helps me do a lot of social media and on bottling days. But it's no investors, no employees. So it's just being as small as we can, and that will help us, to grow this business organically from, a little flame rather than a bonfire.
That happens. We'll kind of change the gears a little bit. Mark, tell us something maybe fun and interesting about you that maybe most people don't know.
Yeah, so before I was a brewer, I was a photographer. And I think there's a certain skill set of that creative technical that I like about both things. They're both hands-on. You've got to know the numbers to make the art work. And same thing here. You've got to know the science of how beer is made. But then once again, there's this chaos to it that kind of moves into a more of an artistic, intuition rather than a by the numbers. And I like having both sides of that.
All right, so it's kind of like partially paint by numbers, but partially paint by intuition as well.
Exactly, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
I like it. Mark, next thing that we kind of want to know is, why do we put beer in barrels? Why is it like 3 years as opposed to like 3 weeks? And why am I going to like it so much?
So the aging a beer in barrels does a lot of flavors that you can't get in a 3-week turnaround beer. So when a beer usually is in stainless steel, it's impermeable to oxygen. So the beer which is good because beer stales because of oxygen. But in a barrel, because wood is porous, the culture is really slowly breathing and being fed. So my culture's it's not choking out like it would in a stainless steel tank. It's breathing and it's expressing new things and going through this long 1 or 2 year fermentation.
All right.
So let me just pull a nail here. So this is a little sample port we use to get our samples. I'll take your glass as well.
Sure. And which one are we sampling here?
So this is Barrel 96, which was brewed with floor malted Pilsner malt from Barnau Malting in Belleville, Ontario. So we use all Canadian cereal grains, Canadian barrels. These are all from Beamsville, down that wine region. And all our fruit comes 45 minutes around here as well.
Oh, nice and close.
Yeah. So everything, the Belgians do in that kind of farmhouse terroir, just the farmers were very resourceful. They'd use whatever they had on the farm. So if that was cherries or plums or peaches or extra wheat that year they had a surplus of, that's what they used.
Cherries, plums, and peaches. You're speaking my language.
Yeah.
I can have like a smorgasbord of all those right now and just put them all back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's season right now. So next week we got apricots, plums, and Montmorency cherries coming in.
Okay.
So I'm planning my blends that will go into those fruits, and each different fruit gets its own blend to back up that fruit.
Aha. I'm learning a little bit over here. How about that? question I really want to know is, tell me about the logo. I can see you guys have, the heart, which is really special, and the big beer cask, which is great. So, give me an idea of where you guys come up with that.
Yeah, so essentially Barrel Heart, I want to be as simple as possible in that I've loved making barrel-aged beers for a long time, for about 12 years, and then for this project, just things from the heart. I didn't want to listen to focus groups and what the marketing demographics say, just what I want to drink and what I want to share with people. In the Ralph Emerson quote is, if you build something that you care about, people will naturally come and flock to it.
Oh, all right. All right, Mark. Tell me what we're about to drink right now.
Yeah, so this is the barrel-aged Saison from Barrel 96, using all Ontario malts, Ontario barrels, Ontario water, Ontario yeast. So yeah, what we do, same as wine drinking, we put our nose into it. It's gonna be a little funky. So you got these like kind of rustic hay, almost like goaty kind of notes to it.
Okay.
There's a little bit of lime zest on there as well,
Yeah.
which comes from our culture as well. It expresses this nice like citrus zest to it. And then have a taste.
All right, away we go.
Cheers. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
First time out of a cask, drinking room temperature beer is going to be a little different. And here's what we do with every one of these things. We even do like the slurp back as wine drinkers do. Slurp around. So a lot of this stuff is it's somewhat similar to how winemakers handle things.
Working on the slurp. My mom had things to say about that slurp.
Sure, yeah. But the slurp, it aerates everything in the mouth, and you get more aromatics on it. So normally I have a big spreadsheet of every barrel gets tasted, and if everyone gets notes, then I'll come back the next week and start doing some blends.
All right, and then after this sits for a couple more years, it might have a different flavor, right?
Exactly, yeah. Depending on what I put into it. So I'll listen to what the barrel had in it before and decide what the barrel gets next. So kind of like making a bonsai tree, you're kind of training it in certain directions depending on where it's been and where it's going. And that's the kind of, it's kind of a beautiful chaos in here. Like, I don't control once it hits the barrel's its own thing, but then I can kind of guide it on its next journey.
Nice, I like that. I like that.
Cheers.
All right, now we learned a little bit about Mark, a little bit about the business. What I really want to know is, tell me about some of your best blends that your customers love the best.
Yeah.
And which one do you think I'll like the best?
Yeah. So all our blends, we really take a lot of time, 2 or 3 years to produce these beers. So they're all my favorites, but it depends on what kind of day it is. On like a hot summer day, I really reach for the Goza, washed away sea. If I'm having, a nice cheese board, it's Oubliette of Staves, which is my straight barrel-aged Saison.
Oubliette?
Oubliette, yeah.
Oubliette, all right.
And then if it's, if I'm doing like something like an Alpine Feta, which is really creamy.
I like the heavy ass, almost like Guinness beer. So I'm like,
Guinness is actually pretty damn dry.
And tell me this one. This is what's golden?
Yeah, this is Plums Love is a Poem. So it's aged on golden plums from Niagara. And golden plums are such a beautiful fruit that really doesn't get enough love, and the aromatics on it are phenomenal. It's just stone fruit all day. It's tart and refreshing.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll pour us a glass rather than tell.
Yeah. Maybe down for that.
Maybe I'll do raspberry actually, because, and I know you're a bit of a berry fan.
All day.
So all right, let's get some bottle that away. We'll pour. So yeah, so we use
I don't know
the wine glasses,
but he knows by now.
So I pick the brains of so many winemakers, and they pour their wines into wine glasses to get the full aroma and all the nuance out of it. So we do the same thing when we do fruit beers.
I love the opener, by the way.
Cheers. All right. Cheers to you.
Salute. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, these raspberries, we drove to 6 different fruit stands and picked up a punnet of raspberries from each one between here and Niagara. Then on the drive back, I'm just picking from each punnet, which one I like. When I get home, the punnet that's the lowest, I'm like, all right, that's probably going to be my punnet.
Oh, all right.
So then I take it to a table full of chefs, and we all blind taste, and we all agree, yeah, these are the best raspberries between here and Niagara, and that's what's in here.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this fruit, as fresh as it smells, this is from 2021. So this beer has this amazing way to preserve like mid-season, side-of-the-road fruit stand raspberries. Get the acid and the berry profile, but even that earthiness beneath it.
Yeah. All day.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. And it's bone dry. So there's 1 gram of sugar per liter in these beers. So they're as dry as the driest champagnes, which means, I feel better.
Yeah, and I can have like 25 of them.
Yeah.
And not put on the carbs, right?
Totally, yeah.
I love it.
Cheers.
Mark, thank you very much for sharing some of your tasty blends over here and imparting some beer knowledge upon me. For the last question is, are there any people you want to give a quick shout out to who are really integral to the success of your business, who've been kind of important?
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton's been a great place for us. We've had so much love from other breweries, helping us out, lending us equipment to start up, ingredients, in every which way. And probably too many to give a shout to everyone, but Hamilton, it's been this great breeding ground for creative young people doing things because they have an opportunity to do them in Hamilton. It's a wonderful city. We really have a great culture of supporting local. People love their city. They'd love to see someone survive and thrive here. And we've had that same love here in Ancaster. People just finding out about us, and they keep coming back and bringing friends. It's fantastic.
Right. And anyone else? Any of maybe your one favorite employee who you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. Well, since we're a set of 2, my wife and I. So shout out to my wife for everything she does to help us and to keep us on track. I make the beer, but she really runs the show.
Oh, so like good man. Fist bump for that. Yes. Boom. All right, great. Well, hey, Mark, thank you very much for joining us. You guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We've learned a little bit about Barrel Heart Brewery, a little bit about Mark as well too, and once again, Sherman here from Barrington Real Estate, and see you guys next time.